Welcome to Outside Focus. Today we are very pleased to have Miss Alice Wong, Asian Society Australia board member and former head of Asian leadership at WESTPAC Group to join us. Alice, very nice to having you here today.
Good afternoon, Marcia. It's a pleasure to be here.
With 30 years of experience in banking, Alice has developed a unique understanding of both the Asian and the Australian business and the Asian and Western business cultures. And her initiatives have focused on increased dialogue and connectivity between the Asian community and the Australian mainstream, which turns the spotlight on increasing the involvement of the Asian community in philanthropic activities. So Alice, could you please tell us more about yourself? How did you start in finance and what is your career path after that?
I joined the National Australia Bank when I was 21. I was looking for a job, any job will do, just very lucky, to join the bank at Burke Street near Chinatown, where I can serve a lot of people of Chinese heritage. And I would say, and then I progressed, to different jobs. And when I finished with at that branch for about 20 years, from a typist, and then go through to business banking managers. And then later on, I set up the National Australia Bank First Asian Business Unit. And then after 26 years with National Australia Bank, and then I was headhunted to join WESTPAC, and then WESTPAC I have a couple of senior roles.
Okay, so talking about Asian business, we know that about 17% of the Australian population here in Australia have Asian cultural origins or ancestry. Yet, despite the dominating results in schools and the achievements after graduation, Asians are still underrepresented in boardrooms and politics. So, as a member of the Asian community, why do you think we are seeing this so-called bamboo ceiling?
I think things it is different, because for a human being they tend to be a little bit safe, their comfort zone. That means, say, because we are different than the mainstream community. That means, say, for us, we really need to work harder and now also work better to be noticed. For me, I didn't see it as a bamboo ceiling, but it's a lot of hard work, and do a better job.
So you must be the one who worked extra hard and got noticed.
Well, I always say, being an Asian woman, you need to work 3 times harder. Being a woman, you need to work double hard, and then being an Asian woman, 3 times harder.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So we know that you have been in the banking industry for almost 40 years, and you're now a very respected leader in the industry. In your career, how did you manage to be noticeably better, like you said just now?
Yeah, I think, for the leadership style is very important. It all depends on your team. You need to work, with your team to suit, their style, and also you also need to work with the organization. At times, of course, if you want to get things across, you need to work with the senior management too. For me, one of the key success for me is I always ask good and thoughtful questions at the senior leadership forum. So that will bring all the attention to my team, because I always say about teamwork. That means, a lot more people will know about my team. And at the time I approach the senior manager to get my message across, they know who I am, what I stand for, what my team stand for. It will be a little bit of courage, but after the first or second time you put your hands up, you get used to it. You just put your hands up for every time. Yeah.
True, that's very true. And Alice, I know that you have been very devoted to multicultural community relations and have initiated several very impactful programs like the introduction of the language and cultural learning program throughout the WESTPAC Group, and also the International Student Internship Program. And as a recent Asian graduate who have just moved to Australia and just gone through the difficulties of finding a job here, I'm really very interested in the internship program. Could you please tell us more about the program and and how does the program reflect your thoughts on what we need to do to prepare the next generation of young leaders?
Sure, yeah. I talk about the WESTPAC language and culture learning programs first, because that actually is driven by customers. At that time, with the trading between Australia and Asia, getting more and more, the customer demand, really want to know more. That's why I put the program together. One is to educate customers, two is to educate all our staff. What's the better platform for them to get together, to learn together. And it was a huge success, and a lot of feedback come to the bank and say that is the best program the bank can offer. They don't want luncheon, they don't want, they only want something they can learn, they can bring it to their business. The second one is the International Students Internship Program. When I have seen a lot of talented international students, and I find, there's nothing in the bank to provide that for non-permanent residents students. And then I put my hands up and ask the bank, see whether we can target the international students, give them some sort of internship work experience, so that when they go back home, they got skill. The bank agreed to do that, and it was a huge success. And I think at the moment, a lot of organizations doing similar things. The company at the moment, I'm a special advisor at the Bangalore Group. We also have two international students that working full-time, at the office. The third thing I want to follow up with that is for the Asian leadership. I'm very passionate about the Asian leadership. That's why before I retired, I asked WESTPAC to give me 12 months to work with their human resources unit to develop the Asian leadership strategies. Because when I look at the banking, a lot of junior and middle management are of Asian heritage, but when we look at the senior management, you can count all those with one hand, and that is some sort of discrepancy there. What I can achieve is, with the bank agree to set us sort of target to close the gaps, for the next 5 years. And hopefully that will encourage, the middle management people, they aspire, to be senior managers.
So you are like a mentor for the young Asians, and you're really doing a lot for them. And in 2016, Alice joined the National Library of Australia in Canberra as a council member, and we have here a very beautiful book here. So could you please share with us what you have been doing with the library, especially the introduction of this book, because I think it's really a very nice book.
Okay, I'm honored, to be the first council member of Chinese heritage for the last 100 years at the National Library of Australia. And we have wonderful collections of Asian, transcript, arts, books, and over the years we have the Japan study grant, which was supported by a generous, philanthropist. When I was there last year, and then I find we should expand that grant to cover all Asia, and I gave myself a little job, because next year is our 50th-year anniversary of the building. I personally, want to raise 50 Asian study grants, for the library, and I think it's really, really important, for the Asian community got some sort of engagement with the National Library, because that is where all the Australian history held.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we, the young Asians, really need to have this opportunity to learn more about our history and our art and culture. So far my questions are all from an Asian leader's perspective, but I know that you are also a very happy mom with 2 children. I myself have spent 2 years in a girls' secondary school and another 1 year in a girls' college. So I have many friends who are smart and ambitious, but at this point of life have come to this choice of work or life or family. So as a very successful female leader, do you think you can share with us some of your thoughts on how we women can find a balance between family and career and achieve our aspirations?
Yes, I think you got the I'm very lucky to have family support. I think every household should have the family support, and for us, we need to be organized, set our priorities. Something may be urgent but not important. That we need to realize that. But I think it's the time for the men to step up. Now with the women, more educated, what they need to do is have a discussion and share, really for the family responsibility and also for the career. They can take turns, so that both parents, can achieve what they want to achieve. I think communication is very important.
Yes, I agree. I can't agree more. So last but not least, Alice, if you were to sum up today's interview with one final piece of advice for the young Asians in the country, what would that advice be?
Okay, there's a lot of opportunities around, but it takes time and effort to look for it, and then once you got it, you need to work towards it. I would say and then you will decide what's best for you, and if you got some mentors around you, you can always bounce off some ideas.
Like you.
I'm delighted to be the mentor. At the moment I'm mentoring a lot of people. For me, I don't set a fixed time for mentoring. What I'll do is anyone ring me, I will take them out for coffee. They can chat to me. That means you are the one who take the initiative. I'm not forcing you. And what I did is I just share my experience. If it's me, that's what I'm going to do. It all depends on each individual what they want to do. I think most important is just to be yourself. Got the courage, don't afraid of everything. Yeah.
But besides being ourselves, I think you are really an inspiring example for us to learn from, and we really have a great deal to learn from you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, Alice, for coming in today to share with us all your wonderful experiences and your thoughts on the future generation. And that's it for today's Outside Focus. I will see you next time.
Thank you.